The Gift of the Magi, Section 2. Oh, and the next 2 hours seemed to fly. She was going from one shop to another to find a gift for Jim. She found it at last. It surely had been made for Jim and no one else. There was no other like it in any of the shops, and she had looked in every shop in the city. It was a gold watch chain, very simply made. Its value was in its rich and pure material. Because it was so plain and simple, you knew that it was very valuable. All good things are like this. It was good enough for the watch. As soon as she saw it, she knew that Jim must have it. It was like him. Quietness and value. Jim and the chain both had quietness and value. She paid $21 for it, and she hurried home with the chain at 87 cents. With that chain on his watch, Jim could look at his watch and learn the time anywhere he might be. Though the watch was so fine, it had never had a fine chain. He sometimes took it out and looked at it only when no one could see him do it. Pause here and answer questions 1 and 2. When Della arrived home, her mind quieted a little. She began to think more reasonably. She started to try to cover the sad marks of what she had done. Love and large-hearted giving, when added together, can leave deep marks. It is never easy to cover these marks, dear friends, never easy. Pause here and answer questions 3, 4, and 5. Within 40 minutes her head looked a little better. With her short hair she looked wonderfully like a schoolboy. She stood at the looking-glass mirror for a long time. "If Jim doesn't kill me," she said to herself, "before he looks at me a second time he'll say I look like a girl who sings and dances for money. But what could I do? Oh, what could I do with $1.87?" At 7 Jim's dinner was ready for him. Jim was never late. Della held the watch chain in her hand, and sat near the door where he always entered. Then she heard his step in the hall, and her face lost color for a moment. She often said little prayers quietly about simple everyday things, and now she said, "Please God, make him think I'm still pretty." Pause here and answer 6 and 7. Once you've finished questions 1 through 7, you may stop the video and move on to the next portion of the module.